Jia took a deep breath as she stepped off the transport ship. The air smelled different here, clean but with a strange metallic hint. The Galactic Academy towered before her, its crystal spires reaching so high they seemed to touch the purple sky. First human to ever pass the entrance exam, she whispered to herself. You belong here. But the looks from the aliens around her said otherwise. Tall, blue-skinned students with 4 arms whispered as she walked by. Short, gray beings with large eyes pointed at her. None of them tried to hide their stares. A voice came over the speakers. All new students report to the main hall for orientation. Jia followed the crowd, keeping her head high despite feeling very alone. The main hall was huge, with ceilings so tall she had to strain her neck to see it. Thousands of seats filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes. She spotted only one other human in the crowd. As she looked for a seat, a tentacle tapped her shoulder. You're in my spot, human, said a red-skinned alien with 3 eyes. I'm sorry, I didn't know, Jia said, moving to the side. Your kind never does, the alien replied with a laugh. Several others joined in. Jia found a seat at the back, next to the only other human she had seen. Don't let them get to you, the human girl said. I'm Han. 2nd year. Jia. 1st year. Han smiled. The first human to pass their entrance exam. News travels fast. They're scared of you. Scared. Of me. Why? Because you're not supposed to be smart enough to be here. That's what they believe. The Academy's director, a tall blue alien named Kai, took the stage. His voice boomed through the hall. Welcome to the most elite learning center in the galaxy. You are here because your species has proven worthy of sharing knowledge with the collective. Most of you, anyway. His eyes seemed to find Jia in the crowd. Some are here as an experiment. Laughter rippled through the hall. Later that day, Jia sat in her first class. Advanced Physics. The teacher, Professor Do, was a thin green alien with 6 fingers on each hand. He looked at Jia with clear dislike. Today we will start with a simple problem, he said. Simple for most of us, anyway. He wrote a complex equation on the floating board. It swirled with symbols Jia had never seen before. You, human. He pointed at Jia. Solve this. The room went quiet. Everyone turned to look at her. Jia felt her face grow hot. I don't recognize some of these symbols, she admitted. Professor Do smiled. As expected. You see, class, humans lack the mental. But, Jia interrupted, standing up, if that symbol means what I think it does, then the answer can be found another way. She walked to the front, took the floating pen, and began writing. She couldn't use their methods, but she remembered an old Earth theory that might work. Her hand moved quickly, finding a different path to the answer. When she finished, Professor Do's 3 mouths hung open in shock. That's not the standard method, he finally said. But is it correct? Jia asked. The professor checked her work, his face darkening. It appears so. By pure luck, no doubt. As Jia returned to her seat, Han gave her a small thumbs up. Some of the alien students looked at her with new interest, others with deeper hatred. That night in her small room, Jia looked out at the strange stars of this world. This is just the beginning, she said to herself. They think we're simple, emotional creatures. They mock us with their fancy words and smart jokes. But they have no idea what humans can do when pushed too far. Outside her window, the lights of the academy glowed against the dark sky, like a challenge waiting to be met. 2 months passed at the academy. Jia did well in her classes, but she still felt alone. Many alien students avoided her. Some still laughed when she walked by. One evening, Jia was studying in the common room when she noticed a large group of students gathered around a viewing screen. They were laughing loudly. Curious, she walked closer to see what was so funny. The screen showed a program called Human Follies. On it, actors with fake pink skin and badly made human clothes stumbled around. They cried over small problems and fought with each other for no reason. One pretended to eat dirt while another screamed at the sky. "Is that supposed to be us?" Jia asked, her voice louder than she meant. The room went quiet. Then Te, a blue-skinned alien with sharp teeth, spoke up. "It's just a comedy show. Don't humans understand humor?" "That's not humor," Jia said. "That's making fun of an entire species." Te rolled his eyes. "All four of them. It's satire. Humans should develop thicker skin." "Oh wait, you already have thick skin compared to most advanced species." The room filled with laughter again. Jia walked away, her face hot with anger. In the hallway, she bumped into someone. "Sorry," said a soft voice. It belonged to Jin, a tall, thin alien with silver skin that seemed to glow in the dark hallway. "I saw what happened in there," Jin said. "Not all of us enjoy that show." Jia looked up, surprised. "You don't?" Jin shook his head. "The collective teaches us that humans are simple and dangerous. But I studied your planet's history. You've overcome so much in such a short time. Then why does everyone treat us like we're stupid?" Jia asked. "Fear," Jin said simply. "Come, walk with me." They walked through the quiet halls of the academy. Jin spoke softly about how the collective, the group of advanced alien species that ran the galaxy, worried about humans. "Your kind adapts quickly. Some in the collective fear what humans might become if given the same chances as everyone else. So they make fun of us instead," Jia said. "It's more than just jokes," Jin warned. "The satire is a tool. It makes others see humans as silly creatures who can't be taken seriously." Jia stopped walking. "That's why Professor Do tried to embarrass me on my first day." Jin nodded. "And why they were so upset when you solved the problem anyway." Back in her room, Jia couldn't sleep. She took out her data pad and began to write. She recorded every joke, every insult, every time a teacher ignored her raised hand. She documented the Human Folly show and how other students treated her after watching it. The next morning, Han found her still writing. "What's all this?" Han asked, looking at Jia's notes. "Evidence," Jia said. "Jin told me last night that the collective uses these jokes to keep humans down. I'm going to prove it." Han looked worried. "Be careful. The academy doesn't like troublemakers." "I'm not making trouble," Jia said. "I'm just paying attention." Over the next few weeks, Jia kept watching and writing. She noticed how Human Follies always aired before important academy votes or events. She saw how students who were friendly with humans were sometimes mocked too. She started meeting with Jin in secret. He showed her old records that weren't supposed to be seen by humans. Records that showed how the collective had blocked human ships from certain areas of space, how they had denied humans access to new technologies. "This isn't right," Jia said one night, looking at the records. "They pretend we have the same chances as everyone else, but we don't." "What will you do?" Jin asked. Jia looked up, her eyes shining with new purpose. "First, I'll learn everything they don't want me to know. Then I'll show them exactly what a human can do." Jia had been at the academy for 3 months now. She spent most of her free time in the archives, saying she was researching for class projects. But she was really looking for information about humans and the collective. One night, when the archive was almost empty, Jia found a door she hadn't seen before. It was small and tucked behind a large shelf. The sign on it said "Restricted Archives. Authorized personnel only." "This is probably where they keep the good stuff," Jia whispered to herself. She looked around. No one was watching. She tried the door, but it was locked. Next to it was a small screen that needed a code. Jia thought for a moment. She had watched Professor Do enter his office code once. She tried those numbers. Nothing happened. She tried the date the academy was founded, which she had learned in history class. Still nothing. Then she had an idea. She tried the code for human in the collective's number system, 7 to 21 to 9. To her surprise, the door clicked open. They use human as a security code. That's actually kind of funny, she said as she slipped inside. The room was dark. Lights came on automatically when she entered. Inside were rows of data storage units. Each had a label in the collective's language. Jia walked along the rows, reading the labels. One caught her eye. Human Cognitive Analysis. Classified. She placed her hand on the unit, and a screen lit up. Files began to appear in front of her. She started reading. Subject shows unusual problem-solving abilities under stress. Humans demonstrate unique cognitive patterns when facing impossible scenarios. Warning. Human adaptive creativity may pose significant threat to collective stability if properly developed. Jia couldn't believe what she was reading. These were secret studies about humans. They showed that humans had special abilities the aliens didn't have. Humans could think in new ways when under pressure. They could find solutions no one else could see. And the collective was hiding this information. They're afraid of us, Jia whispered. They know what we can do. Suddenly, the door opened. Jia quickly shut down the screen and turned around. A tall, thin alien in a security uniform stood there. Her name badge said, Sue. What are you doing in here, human? Sue asked, her voice cold. Jia tried to look confused. I'm sorry, I got lost. I was looking for the bathroom. Sue's eyes narrowed. This door was locked. It opened when I touched it, Jia lied. I thought it was the right way. Sue looked at her for a long moment. The bathrooms are back the way you came, then to the left. Thank you, Jia said, walking quickly past Sue. Human, Sue called after her. Jia stopped and turned. Be careful where you wander in the future. Not all doors are safe to open. Jia nodded and hurried away. Her heart was pounding. Sue knew she was lying, but had let her go anyway. Why? Back in her room, Jia found Han waiting for her. Where have you been? Han asked. It's past curfew. Han, I found something big, Jia said, her voice low and excited. She told Han about the secret files and what they said about humans. We need to tell others, Han said when Jia finished. Who can we trust? Jia asked. I know a few people, Han said. There's a small group of us, humans, and some friendly aliens, who meet in secret. The next night, Han took Jia to a small room deep in the lower levels of the academy. Inside were 4 other people, 2 humans and 2 aliens, including Jin. Everyone, this is Jia, Han said. She's found proof of what we've suspected. Jia told them everything she had discovered. When she finished, the room was quiet. This changes things, said one of the humans, a tall boy named Du. If what you found is true, then humans aren't inferior at all. The collective has been lying to everyone, Jin said. But what can we do about it? Asked the other alien, a small green being named Ri. Jia looked around at the group. I have an idea, but it's going to be risky. The others leaned in to listen as Jia began to explain her plan. The main hall of the academy was packed with students and teachers. On the large screen at the front, the head of the academy, Director Kai, was making an announcement. It is time for our annual innovation contest, he said. His blue face looked serious. This year, we face a crisis. 5 planets in the outer ring have severe energy shortages. Their people suffer. The winner of this contest will create a solution to help them. Jia sat between Han and Jin. She listened carefully. For the first time, Director Kai continued, we will allow humans to enter the contest. The room filled with whispers and laughs. Jia looked around. Many aliens were smirking. They think it's a joke, Han whispered. Director Kai raised his hand for quiet. All entries must be submitted in 1 month. The final presentations will be made before the collective council. That is all. As students left the hall, Jia heard people talking. Why let humans enter? They can barely use our technology. It will be funny to watch them fail. Ta walked past Jia and stopped. Going to enter the contest, human. Maybe you can suggest they burn wood for energy. He laughed with his friends as they walked away. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Han asked Jia. Jia nodded. I'm going to enter. And I'm going to win. That night, the small group met again in their secret room. The innovation contest is perfect, Jia told them. If I can win, it will prove humans are just as smart as anyone else. No human has ever even placed in the top 10, Du warned. That's because they never let humans enter before, Jia said. This is our chance. What will you create? Asked Ri. I've been studying the energy crisis, Jia said. The outer ring planets have strong magnetic fields, but no way to use them for power. On Earth, we have a theory about converting magnetic energy. I think I can make it work here. You'll need lab access and materials, Jin said. I can help with that. And you'll need to be careful, Han added. The other students won't like a human showing them up. The next day, Jia went to register for the contest. Professor Do was in charge of registration. When he saw Jia, his 3 mouths all frowned at once. A human entrant. How amusing, he said. What category will you embarrass yourself in? Energy conversion, Jia said calmly. Professor Do laughed. The most complex category. You are brave, if foolish. He handed her a form. Sign here. Try not to hurt yourself with the advanced equipment. Jia took the form and signed it. Thank you, Professor. I look forward to the challenge. Over the next 2 weeks, Jia worked hard on her project. Jin helped her get time in the advanced lab. Han and the others helped gather materials. Word spread that a human was seriously competing in the contest. Some students came to watch Jia work, hoping to see her fail. Most days, she ignored them and kept working. One day, as Jia was testing a new part for her device, she heard the lab door open. She looked up to see Ta standing there. Working hard? He asked. What do you want, Ta? Jia asked, not stopping her work. I'm curious what a human thinks she can create that our best minds haven't already thought of, he said, walking closer. Maybe that's the problem, Jia said. Your best minds all think the same way. Tae's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. Then he smiled. You know, you're different from what I expected. Is that a compliment? Jia asked. Just an observation, Ta said. Some of us are placing bets on how badly you'll fail. I might bet differently now. As he turned to leave, he added, by the way, watch out for Professor Do. He doesn't like being proven wrong, especially by a human. After Tai left, Jin came out from the supply room. That was strange, he said. Very, Jia agreed. Either he's trying to trick me, or he's starting to see humans differently. Be careful either way, Jin warned. The closer you get to finishing your project, the more dangerous things will become. Jia nodded, looking down at her half-built device. Then we better make sure it works perfectly. Jia had been working on her project for 3 weeks. She was almost done. Her device could take energy from magnetic fields and turn it into power that could be used by homes and factories. She had tested it many times, and it worked well. One morning, Jia came to the lab early. She wanted to finish before the deadline in just 7 days. When she opened the door, she stopped in shock. The lab was destroyed. Her device lay in pieces on the floor. Her notes were torn up. The special parts she had made were broken. No, she whispered. She ran to check the security cameras, but they had been turned off during the night. There was no record of who had done this. Jia sat on the floor among the broken pieces. All her hard work was ruined. She felt tears coming, but she wiped them away. She would not cry. What happened? Han asked from the doorway. She had come to help Jia, as she did every morning. Someone destroyed everything, Jia said. All my work. Han looked around the room. Who would do this? Who wouldn't? Jia said bitterly. Half the academy doesn't want a human to succeed. Jin arrived next, followed by Du and Rai. They all looked at the mess with sad faces. "There's no time to start over," Du said. "The contest is in 7 days. We have to try," Jia said, standing up. "I won't let them win." The group began cleaning up. They saved what parts they could. Jia redrew her plans from memory. They worked all day and into the night. The next morning, Ta came to the lab. He stood in the doorway, watching them work. "I heard what happened," he said. "That was wrong." Jia looked up in surprise. "You think so?" "Yes," Ta said. "A contest should be won by the best idea, not by cheating." He stepped forward. "I want to help." No one trusted Ta, but they needed help, and he was good with technology. "Fine," Jia said after a moment. "You can help with the power converter. It's the most damaged part." Ta nodded and got to work. For the next 5 days, the group worked non-stop. With Ta's help, they rebuilt the device faster than Jia had thought possible. It was even better than the first one. On the night before the contest, they ran the final test. The device hummed to life, glowing with blue light. Energy readings were strong. "We did it," Han said, hugging Jia. "It works even better than before," Jin said, looking at the readings. Everyone celebrated, even Ta. He seemed proud of their work. After the others left, Jia stayed to make some final adjustments. As she checked each part, she noticed something strange about the power converter, the part Ta had worked on. She looked closer. There was a small device attached to it that wasn't in her plans. It was well hidden, but Jia had good eyes. "What is this?" she asked herself, carefully removing it. She scanned it with a tool and saw that it was set to send a signal during the presentation tomorrow. That signal would make the power converter fail. "Ta," she whispered, "you were sabotaging us all along." Jia was angry but also curious. Why go through all the trouble of helping, only to make the device fail at the last minute? Then she understood. If the device worked up until the presentation and then failed dramatically in front of everyone, it would be even more embarrassing for humans. Jia could have thrown away the sabotage device, but instead, she had a better idea. She modified it slightly, and then put it back where she found it. But now, instead of making the device fail, it would do something very different. "Let's see how they like a taste of their own medicine," Jia said to herself as she finished her work. When she finally left the lab that night, Jia was tired but satisfied. Tomorrow would be the most important day of her life, and maybe for all humans in the galaxy. The day of the innovation contest arrived. The main hall of the academy was full. Students, teachers, and important visitors from across the galaxy sat in rows. In the front row sat members of the Collective Council, the most powerful aliens in the galaxy. Jia stood backstage with the other contestants. Her device was covered with a cloth. Han, Jin, Du, and Ray wished her good luck. Ta stood nearby with a small smile on his face. "He thinks his plan will work," Jia thought to herself. "He's in for a surprise." Director Kai walked onto the stage. "Welcome to the 84th Annual Innovation Contest," he said. "Today, our students will present solutions to the energy crisis in the Outer Ring." One by one, contestants went on stage. They showed devices that made small amounts of energy from light, heat, or motion. The judges nodded and took notes. Then it was Jia's turn. As she walked on stage with her device, she heard whispers. "A human contestant. This should be funny. What can she possibly know about energy?" Director Kai introduced her with a cold voice. "Next, we have Jia from Earth, our first human contestant." Jia placed her device on the table and smiled at the audience. She saw Professor Do in the second row, watching her with his 3 mouths all frowning. "Thank you, Director," Jia said. "The outer ring planets have strong magnetic fields, but no easy way to use them for power. My device converts magnetic energy into usable power more efficiently than current methods." She removed the cloth from her device. It was sleek and simple-looking, with a glowing blue core. On Earth, we have a saying, Gia continued. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best. This device uses only 20 parts, not hundreds like other converters. Gia turned on the device. It hummed softly, and lights began to glow. The energy meter next to it rose quickly, showing it was making power. As you can see, it's already generating enough energy to power this entire room, Gia said. The audience murmured in surprise. Even the council members leaned forward. But there's something else you should see, Gia said. She pressed a button on her control pad. Suddenly, a hidden screen in her device lit up. It showed a video recording of Tai placing the sabotage device in her converter. Then it showed another video of Professor Do giving Tai instructions in his office. Do's voice came clearly through the speakers. Make sure it fails at the most embarrassing moment. We can't let a human succeed. The room went completely silent. All eyes turned to Professor Do, whose face had turned a dark green color. My device also has a security system, Gia explained calmly. It records anyone who tries to interfere with it, and it traced the sabotage device back to its maker. She pointed directly at Professor Do. He didn't want a fair contest. He was afraid a human might win. Director Kai stood up, his face dark with anger. Is this true, Professor Do? Do stuttered. She's lying. This is a human trick. The evidence is clear, said one of the council members, a tall, gray alien. And most concerning. Gia turned back to her device. Now let me show you what it can really do. She adjusted some controls, and the device's hum grew louder. The energy meter shot up to maximum. This is 10 times more energy than any converter currently in use, Gia said. Enough to solve the outer ring crisis. The audience was silent for a moment. Then Jin started clapping. Han joined in, then Du and Rai. Slowly, others began to clap too. One of the council members stood up. This is remarkable technology, from a remarkable mind. I believe we have found our winner. Gia looked out at the audience. Many aliens looked shocked, some looked angry, but others looked at her with new respect. As she left the stage, carrying her device, Gia caught Professor Do's eye. He looked away quickly. His plan had failed. Jia's truth had won. The human section of the audience was cheering wildly. Han ran up and hugged her. You did it, Han whispered. You showed them all. This is just the beginning, Gia said quietly. Gia should have been happy. She had won the contest. Her device would help millions of people on the outer ring planets. The council had praised her work. But things were not simple. The day after the contest, Gia found a notice on her door. The Academy Board wanted to review her win. They claimed she might have broken rules by adding the recording feature to her device. This is ridiculous, Han said when Gia showed her the notice. They're just angry you exposed Professor Do. And that a human won, Gia added. In class that day, many alien students moved away from Gia. Some whispered behind her back. Others just stared with cold eyes. That night, Gia turned on the viewing screen in the common room. Human Follies was playing again. But this time, there was a new character in the show. A female human with short black hair who looked just like Gia. This character was sneaky and tricked everyone around her. They're making fun of me now, Gia said to Jin, who was watching with her. It means you scared them, Jin replied. They feel threatened. The next day, Gia went to her review meeting with the Academy Board. 5 senior alien professors sat behind a long table. Professor Do was not there. Gia of Earth, said the head of the board, we have reviewed your contest entry. We have concerns. For an hour, they questioned Gia about every detail of her device. How did she build it? Who helped her? How did she get the recording feature to work? Gia answered truthfully, except she didn't mention her friends. She wouldn't get them in trouble. Finally, the board made their decision. Your win will stand, the head said. But we issue you a warning for adding features not in your original design plan. What about Professor Doe? Jia asked. He tried to sabotage my work. Professor Doe has been reassigned, the head said. That matter is closed. When Jia left the meeting, Han, Jin, Du, and Ray were waiting. Well, Han asked. They let my win stand, but they gave me a warning, Jia said. And Doe just got reassigned, not punished. That's not fair, Du said. It's the collective way, Jin said quietly. They protect their own. That evening, Jia received 3 messages on her datapad. The first was a death threat from an anonymous sender. The second was from a group of alien students asking her to leave the academy for her own safety. The third was different. It was from Min, an alien journalist who ran a small news channel. I saw what happened at the contest, Min wrote. Your story needs to be told. The truth needs to be heard. Will you talk to me? Jia showed the message to her friends. It could be a trap, Rai warned. Or it could be a chance to reach more people, Jia said. I'm going to do it. 3 days later, Jia sat in Min's small studio. Cameras floated in the air around them. Tell me about being human at the academy, Min said. For the first time, Jia told the whole story. The mockery, the human folly show, the unfair treatment, the secret files she found, and the sabotage attempt. The collective tells everyone that humans are less intelligent, more emotional, and dangerous, Jia said. But the truth is, they're afraid of us. They know we can think differently. We can solve problems they can't. So they use jokes and lies to keep us down. The interview went out live across the Academy's network. By the next morning, it had spread across 3 star systems. Messages poured in from humans everywhere. They told similar stories of being mocked and held back. Some aliens also sent messages supporting Jia. But the collective leaders were angry. They announced a special committee to investigate human complaints. But every member of the committee had spoken against humans in the past. They're not going to change anything, Han said when they heard the news. Then we'll have to make them change, Jia replied. Her eyes were bright with determination. This is just getting started. Jia sat in the small meeting room with Min, the alien journalist. It had been 2 weeks since their interview went public. Things were changing fast. The committee is a joke, Min said. They aren't listening to any human complaints. I know, Jia replied. We need to do something bigger. Min's eyes lit up. Like what? Like an alliance, Jia said. Not just humans. Not just a few friends. A real movement of humans and aliens working together. That night, Jia, Min, Han, Jin, Du, and Ray met in their secret room. They made plans for a new group, the Galactic Equal Rights Alliance. We need to show the collective that this isn't just a human problem, Jia said. It's about fairness for everyone. I can reach out to other journalists, Min offered. Many of us are tired of being told what stories we can tell. Jin looked nervous. I haven't been completely honest with you all, he said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. My family has connections in the collective leadership, Jin explained. My father sits on the inner council. Jia was shocked. You're part of the ruling family. Jin nodded. I came to the academy to learn the truth about how the collective treats other species. I've been hiding my identity. Why tell us now? Han asked, suspicious. Because I can help, Jin said. I have access to communication channels the collective doesn't monitor, and I might be able to influence some members of the council. The next day, using Jin's secure channels, they sent messages to humans and sympathetic aliens across the galaxy. They organized peaceful protests at collective facilities on 12 different planets. Jia worked day and night on a special project. Using what she learned from her energy device, she created a new kind of communication technology. It was small, easy to build, and impossible for the collective to track. With these, we can talk without them listening in, she explained to the group, showing them the small disc-shaped devices. Within days, hundreds of the communication discs were in use across the galaxy. The alliance grew quickly. Humans everywhere began to speak out. Some brave aliens joined them too. On the Academy planet, Jia led a peaceful protest outside the committee's meeting hall. 500 students showed up, mostly humans, but some aliens too. News of the protests spread fast. The collective leaders were worried. More people were questioning their rules. Some powerful aliens began to speak out in favor of human rights. One evening, Jin came to Zhu's room with important news. "My father contacted me," he said. "The inner council is split. Some want to make real changes. Others want to silence the protests by force." "What did your father say?" Jia asked. "He's on our side," Jin said with a small smile. "He never believed humans were inferior. He wants to meet you." 3 days later, Jin took Jia to a private meeting room in the Academy's secure wing. A tall, silver-skinned alien was waiting there. He looked like an older version of Jin. "Jia of Earth," he said, bowing slightly. "I am Kel, Inner Council member. My son speaks highly of you." Jia bowed back. "Thank you for meeting me, sir." "The collective is at a turning point," Kel said. "For too long, we have let fear guide our treatment of humans. This cannot continue." "What can we do?" Jia asked. "The committee investigating human treatment must include human members," Kel said. "I have convinced several council members to support this, but we need 3 humans who can represent your people well." Jia thought for a moment. "I know just the right people." 2 days later, the collective announced a change to the committee. 3 humans would join: Han, Du, and a human professor from another academy named Li. "Why not you?" Han asked Jia after the announcement. "Because I need to keep building the alliance," Jia replied. "And some of the collective still see me as too much of a troublemaker." "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" Min asked. Jia nodded, looking out at the stars through the window. "The collective has ruled for 1,000 years. Change won't happen overnight, but it has started." Jin put a hand on Zhu's shoulder. "And it started because one human refused to be silenced by their mockery." 5 years had passed since Jia first arrived at the Academy. Today, she stood in the Great Hall of the new Galactic Council. The room was huge, with high ceilings and windows that showed the stars. Around a large round table sat representatives from every species in the galaxy. Jia was now head of the Innovation Division. She wore the formal blue robes of a council leader. "The energy project for the Outer Ring is complete," Jia announced to the council. "All 5 planets now have full power. The people there send their thanks." The council members applauded. Jin, who sat across from Jia as the representative of his people, smiled at her. So much had changed in 5 years. After the human members joined the committee, the truth about how humans were treated came out. The committee found that the collective had blocked humans from jobs, education, and resources for over 100 years. The public was angry when they learned the truth. More aliens joined the alliance. Protests grew larger. Then came the vote of no confidence. The Inner Council was disbanded. A new system was created, the Galactic Council, where all species had equal votes. Human Follies was canceled. The new media rules banned shows that mocked any species. Instead, there were now programs that taught about different cultures and celebrated diversity. As the council meeting ended, Jia gathered her notes. A voice behind her made her turn. "Council Leader Jia, may I speak with you?" It was Professor Do. He looked older now. After the changes, he had lost his teaching position. Now he worked as an advisor on the Education Committee. "Of course, Professor," Jia said. They walked together to a quiet corner of the hall. "I want to apologize," Do said. His voice was softer than Jia remembered. "What I did to you at the Academy, trying to sabotage your work, it was wrong." Jia was surprised. Do had never apologized before. "I believed what the collective taught us," Do continued. "That humans were dangerous, that they needed to be kept in their place. And now, Jia asked. Now I see how wrong we were, Do said. The new mixed schools are producing better students than we ever had. The human approach to problems has helped solve issues we struggled with for centuries. Jia nodded. We all have a lot to learn from each other. There's one thing I still don't understand, Do said. How did you endure it? The mockery, the human folly show, the way we treated you. How did you not become bitter or hateful? Jia thought for a moment. I did feel angry sometimes. But I used that feeling as fuel. It pushed me to work harder, to prove you wrong. She smiled. And the best way to respond to satire isn't with more words. It's by changing the reality they're satirizing. As Jia left the council chambers, she passed a group of school children on a tour. They were a mix of species, human children with blue and green alien children, all listening to their teacher. And this is where the peaceful revolution was planned, the teacher was saying. Led by a human named Jia and her friends, both human and alien. One of the human children spotted Jia and pointed. That's her, the child whispered loudly. The children all turned to look. Some waved shyly. Jia waved back. Outside, she met Han, who now ran the Academy's new Human Studies department. Min was there too, with her news cameras. Another successful council meeting. Han asked. Yes, Jia said. The energy project is complete. And you won't believe who just apologized to me. Professor Do. People can change, Min said. The whole galaxy has changed. Jia looked up at the stars. She thought about her first day at the Academy, how alone she had felt, how the aliens had laughed at humans and their ways. They thought their jokes and insults would keep us down, Jia said quietly. They never expected us to rise up and change the whole system. Han put an arm around her friend's shoulders. You endured their satire, and then ended their rule. Jia finished with a smile.